You really need to consider your legacy on this one. Because do you want to be known as someone who's perpetuating some kind of ridiculousness just to try and get listeners, or are you going to try and help save people? That's going to be on you and your legacy and your child's legacy. And I really think you need to consider that when you're putting this program out.
BBC World asked me to be in an expose they were doing on obesity, because apparently I've become the resident person to talk to fat people in video letter form. Whatever. I said yes, but I've gotten smarter over the years because I know that the media likes to take sound bites and put them together to create, I don't know, stories that aren't even there. So I secretly brought my own camera crew and filmed all this. Here we go.
I'll tell you, I've done an implicit bias test for this program, and I do come out slightly fattest.
Fattest is not a thing. Who invented that word, fattest? That was definitely invented by fat people trying to be special.
Then why is fattest not a thing?
Well, you just compared obesity to race and sexuality, so I think right away we're starting on some pseudo-journalism. I think that's a way to vilify those with common sense, and that grievance journalism, looking for clickbait or blame placing versus facts or evidence and helping people, is a giant issue in society right now.
What are the facts surrounding fat people?
How don't you know anything about the topic that your program is on? I have a hard time figuring that out.
Oh goodness, well, 60% of the UK, where I believe you're filming this right now or taping this right now, is overweight right now. There's 26 to 28% of adults in the UK are obese, which means that they are at a dangerous level of hurting themselves with their level of fat. 38% of America is obese. 1 in 10 kids are obese by the age of 5, 1 in 5 by 11. And it is all preventable. The media are helping people because they're pandering, because it's a lot easier to pander to 60% of the population if you want views and clicks and to sell products, than it is to tell people what they're doing is wrong and you have to be healthy because you're hurting yourself.
Themselves to death.
Actually, they are.
Very small proportion of people.
Hit me with the stat on that.
I don't have the study.
Exactly, you don't have the stat. I do.
So how fat are we talking about here? I mean, there are different categories, right? There's obese, there's morbidly obese, and then there is just the fat person walking down the street that might not be very appealing in appearance, but
That is rude.
definitely isn't killing themselves. Where do you draw the line?
What kind of line am I supposed to be drawing?
Well, where do you think fat is unhealthy? Where do you look at a person and think, okay, I'm going to call them out for their weight?
Well, I've definitely never done that in my life. I've never walked up to a stranger on the street and called them out for being fat.
Bait? Not taken.
But I would say we all know.
Your video,
Most definitely not. There were no names mentioned in that, and I definitely set that up and used neurolinguistic programming in the way that I set that video up so that people would pay attention and that it would be an inward focus. It wasn't an outward focus, and it wasn't aimed at any one person in particular.
So when we talk about health concerns for very fat people,
Yes.
how fat are we talking?
Oh, that can happen right away. People's knees go out. As someone who was a certified dance instructor and certified person in physical fitness for years, I would see health issues hitting people with, 20 extra pounds. It starts to affect their knees.
Duh.
And as we know, fat just doesn't gather around your stomach. It goes around your arteries. It goes into your heart. Fat sucks onto your different internal organs, and that's actually what makes you ill a lot faster than just having some fat on your stomach. So back to your question, it is subjective on a visual level, but I don't know the exact stat on what amount of fat causes issues. But I believe the BMI is what you call it in the UK. Once it reaches 30, you're getting into a really unhealthy level.
Although that's actually a really distorted measurement because muscle weighs more than fat. So if you're an athlete, you have an extraordinarily high BMI.
Well, obviously there's things that, I've done it myself. You hold on to the steel handle and it goes and sends a vibration through your body and it can tell you how much of that is muscle versus fat. It's actually quite easy.
Duh.
But you can also be quite thin or normally thin and be extremely unhealthy.
Of course you can. Well, you should have an idea. You just go to the doctor.
So do you not think that any fat person can be healthy? Do you think that for fat and unhealthy are completely synonymous?
I think using common sense, we would all have to agree, yes, fat is not healthy.
The reason you've spoken out about this is because you're worried that people are hurting themselves. Do you feel the same when you're in a bar and you see someone drinking too much?
Of course. Well, generally in a bar, people are drinking. But if someone has an addiction of any sort, I definitely feel the exact same way. And, to the point of you saying that people have visceral reactions to fat, I don't believe that anyone has visceral reactions to fat because it has become the norm. There are 60% of people in the UK that are considered overweight. So it's a stretch to say that people are having visceral reactions because it's the normal. I do have a visceral reaction to the media perpetuating illness as okay to help sell some magazines. That is what I personally have a visceral reaction to. I think that it is absolutely awful of the media to perpetuate that it is okay to have negative health issues, because we wouldn't say alcoholism is beautiful. We wouldn't say any kind of other addiction is beautiful. But when you say fat is beautiful, you might get more clicks. You might sell more products. You might sell more tickets to your show. So there's an upside that we're not really talking about for celebrities or other people to jump on the fat bandwagon and weigh down the rest of society and weigh down common sense. No pun intended, but actually pun intended. That's not necessarily true. Did you ask them? I think that's definitely a stretch. Thin doesn't mean anorexic. Now, were some anorexic? Probably, for sure. But to say the majority of them were anorexic without asking them or knowing their eating habits is ridiculous. However, we can visually see that fat people or obese people are unhealthy. We can visually see it. And I would say that having anorexic people, of course, obesity, there is no such thing as a healthy obese person.
But don't take my word for it. Take this.
I think it's ridiculous if you're trying to insinuate that, because it'll help you get more listeners for your program.
I'm not trying to perpetuate anything. I'm just trying to understand why you care so much whether the person...
I'm trying to understand why you don't care. Why don't you care for other people? This is the big issue with the world today, is people don't care anymore. We don't care about each other. I care about the person being blown up on the news. I care about everything. And I think we should get back to that. I think we'll stop blowing each other up if we care more about the person beside us. I think we'll stop poisoning our water. I think we'll stop manufacturing junk food that isn't good for us if we care. And I think saying that, it's not caring is better is ridiculous. We should care about everyone as if they're our friend or our family. And my friends and family will tell me when I'm messing up. And I appreciate that in them. That's integrity. It takes a level of integrity to care about other people and empathy. And just because it's not sugar-coated, again, no pun intended, doesn't mean it shouldn't be delivered.
So you think the best way of delivering that is to do a video addressing dear fat people and making fun of them?
I think I'm a comedian, and I think that Ricky Gervais has done very similar videos to mine, actually almost identical. I hadn't seen it until afterwards, and the press said nothing about it. So I think that kind of reaction goes into sexism in comedy. And I do care, 100%. And as someone who was disabled for many years and in bed, on disability, unable to work out, unable to walk most days, it hurts me to my core to see people abuse their bodies that I spent years just wishing mine would work. I've had thousands upon thousands of people come to me and thank me, and they changed their entire lives because they saw that comedy video and took the parts of it that they knew were real, as an adult should, and took the jokes, as they should, as adults with good mental health standing, and then they used it to change their life. And that's amazing to me. That's amazing that millions and millions of people saw that video and I helped change lives. That's my legacy.
So you think that every fat person has the ability to change the way that they are?
I don't think that. I know that. That will come down to mental abilities and mental toughness and accountability.
And you don't take any of the research into account that people are more likely to be fat if they're poor?
Oh, 100%, which is why education is so important. There is a laziness factor, but there is an ignorance factor. And the ignorance isn't meant to be a mean word, but that comes down to there's a huge group of people that don't know how to eat healthy. And maybe we need less protractors in school and more cooking classes. Because I've never protracted in my life, but I sure need to know how to cook every day. And it is affecting people who are at a low income bracket, and we need to fix that. We shouldn't just say, oh, they're being affected by it, we have to be nice to them because they're fat now. We have to say, no, there is a problem in society, and we need to reshuffle and restructure and save some lives.
Do you accept that healthy food is often more expensive?
That's not necessarily true, because one study found that it's only $1.50 more each day to eat super healthy. But another study refuted that, so we don't really know.
That leisure time and exercise and going to the gym is the prerogative of someone who is
Leisure is no. It is not leisure going to the gym. That is not a thing. Okay, I'll just let you guys know it is 10 a.m. where I am right now, and I woke up at 6 a.m. today to make sure that I had time to go to the gym because I want my body to function properly. It is not about leisure. It is about function.
Work a 12-hour shift every day.
There are lots of people who have that. You can find a time, you can do it on your lunch hour, and then you can have a smoothie at your desk. Do you want to be healthy or not? Do you want to be there for your 4 kids in the future? Or do you want to develop heart disease and all the other diseases that are attributed to not taking care of your body? We have one body. We have one machine. That's it. We have to take care of it forever, or we don't get another one. It's not about leisure. And again, I don't think we're being accountable. If we're taking it down to, oh, it costs more to eat healthy. Okay, it's going to cost you a lot more to go to the doctor in the future. It's going to cost you a lot more to get that prescription drug that you're going to have to take forever when your body stops producing enough of the chemicals it needs to function. I think we need to reframe people's minds, get back to accountability and say, hey, you either do this now or this is going to affect you forever. And again, I'm gonna keep putting this on you because I know this will be edited. This part won't be in it. But it's up to you as a journalist to really help and affect people here because you have the opportunity to save people.
Have you thought about the impact your video might have had on some fat people who did not take very kindly to it? How it might have made them feel when they are surrounded by a world that judges them every single day?
Again, 60% of the UK is overweight, so that's already the majority. They're the majority. And if it hurt their feelings, maybe it's time to get tougher. Maybe it's time to get tougher. Maybe drill sergeants in the army don't say please and thank you. And when someone's dying, the paramedic doesn't come up and tickle them on the shoulder. They get the electricity and they effing jolt them back to life. My video was an effing jolt for people. That was what I was doing, and it worked. And for people who did have their feelings hurt, and they didn't do anything about it, that video wasn't for them anyway. Everything isn't for everybody, and that's okay. And we need to realize that too. Social justice warriors have taken over the media, taken over society, and we seem to think that one size fits all. Again, I'm not trying to make puns, they're just falling out of me. One size fits all doesn't have to work for everything. The approach that works for some people doesn't have to be for everybody. I didn't send my video to anyone. They chose to watch my video, especially after the media said it might be offensive. If you choose to watch it anyway, that's on you.
Here's some other dumb questions I was asked.
Have you ever been fat? Do you constantly watch your weight? Do you have any fat friends?
Of course I do. I want mental illness to go down. I want fat to go down. I want all of our addictions to go down. I just think we're at a place right now where we're super addicted and we're just not being accountable. These are my rants.
So just crystallize for me in one sentence, what goes through your mind when across the street you see a very large person?
Are you f***ing serious? What kind of reporter are you?
Oh, hey, there's a person. Hope they're cool.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
To date, BBC World has not released that episode. It was supposed to be out in December. Maybe it's because they realized they didn't get the soundbite that they wanted from me to turn me into a villain and have a big old story. And maybe it's because they realized it's a piece of shit. Either way, thanks for watching. Keep laughing, be good to each other in real life, and until next time, go team. I'm Nicole Arbour.